and welcome once again to this Bonita Soft webinar. My name is Talia and we are arriving at Bonita Central. In case you have any questions during this presentation, don't hesitate to put your question on this panel of questions, and then I will try to look back and forth so I can answer them. And if not, yes, we will have some minutes at the end to keep talking. Okay, let's go. So this is the summary of our adventure aboard the Bonita Express. We have visited all these places together. First, we got our train ticket. Then we went directly to the bank because we needed some money to continue our trip. Then we went to school to help teachers. Then we followed a gray rabbit and discovered a new concept called self-contained applications. Then we went to the mines of our processes. Then we went back from the mines to discover the restaurant. After that, we went not very far away to the restaurant's kitchen. And at last, we checked identities with ticket inspector. So I hope that you have liked this trip so far. And if this is the first time you're coming, well, this is the last stop, but it's perfect. So welcome aboard and let's arrive together to this last stop called Bonita Central. This is our final destination. And today we're going to discover how to deploy an application in production. And we will present also Bonita Central. Okay, let's go. So first thing, deploying and production. I talked a little bit about this when we followed the gray rabbit. So the path to production, right? When we want to deploy something in production, well, we need a physical server where we can deploy it. And the thing is that before, a lot of tools ask us to have a software infrastructure as well. So for example, not only the physical server, but also the software that goes well with that. And with that, we can deploy an application. So what came here this year is something that we call the self-contained application. So like this, that it contains everything inside. So the idea is that you don't longer need a second step, a previous step for setting your runtime for your application, because this unity, this entity contains that all by itself. It's really self-contained. So really we could think of this path to production in these two steps. And that's what I was saying, self-contained application that contains the runtime, the engine, a BPM, a BDM of a certain version, all of your UIs linked to the application, to your application, for example, the Acme Bank for Loans that we discover on our second step. And of course, you can add some what we call the core apps such as the Bonita user application, which can be very useful, or the Bonita administrator application. You can add it inside so you can have the whole package inside your self-contained application. So this can be also very useful because sometimes we don't want like just only one application in our physical server. We want more than one. So once we have that, we could think of a third step where another application, for example, the Acme restaurant application that we did when we went to the restaurant together. So we could add them to the same physical server where we have the bank, because yeah, the Acme group is so big that they have lots of sectors and applications linked to those sectors. Okay, so in Bonita 2023.1, so just a reminder that in Bonita we have 2 versions per year. So 2023.1 was released in May of this year, and we explain how to generate a self-contained application with this new version. We introduced this tool, which is Bonita Application Packager tool, which was experimental. And this is just a reminder how we did it at that time. And now it's time to move forward and see how we're building these applications, these self-contained applications, with new version that's not ready out yet. So this is an avant-premiere. It's coming next month. And so with Bonita 2023.2, we wanted to go more on what you are already using. So we are going for Maven. This is a very simple way where you will be able to build your self-contained applications. No need to install something more for an external tool for building them. You will just need to use Maven. So what does this mean? With a Maven, with a simple command, you will be able to say, for example, you want to create a Docker image. So you will just say that you want a Docker image. You will give them your application. You will also say which environment you want to build. And maybe if you have a configuration bconf file, you can give it as well in here. And this will create this self-contained application, so a Bonita Docker image containing your application. And the same way with Bonita Tomcat, so it's very similar, the same parameters with Maven, and it will create this time a Bonita Tomcat bundle containing your app. So what does this look like? Well, it's like this: Maven package -p bundle if you want to create a Tomcat bundle, and -d for giving the parameter of bonita.environment, and your environment, for example, equals production. And then the result for this will be a zip containing your bundle name as your application and the version. This is also going to be important then, yes, versioning of your applications, but surely you already used this correctly, like you made a changement, then you go for a new version. And then this will package your self-contained application. The same way, then for a Docker image, we will use Maven package -p Docker, -d for giving the environment as well. Bonita.environment equals your environment, like equals production. And the result of this will be a Docker image tagged as, again, the name of your application and your environment, and the version tagged with the version of your application that you have given. Okay, so, well, let's see it live. How does it look like? So I have Bonita 2023.2 in my hands. What I'm saying, it's not released yet. So I'm using a beta version, which is not out yet. But since you are here, then you are taking a look at it. I'm going to use a community version for now. And what I'm going to do is to clone a project from Git. Okay, the project that I would like to use today is the one that we created for our restaurant order example. So when we were at the restaurant, so we'll copy this one up. Oh, sorry, where's Bonita? Yeah, and I'll put it in here. Okay, next. This way it will see, yeah, which branches I have. So I want to fetch everything. And it is telling me that the clone repository needs to be migrated. Yes, because this example, we did it with 2023.1. So yes, we will migrate it. And I will show you some of the details that have also changed with this new version. But yes, it's kind of the same, on the same path we are following. We were in the path of making every project a multi-model Maven project. So 2023.2 we are arriving to the achievement of our Bonita project. Is a multimodal Maven project. That's great. So let's give it just a bit of time. And here it is. It has been cloned successfully in Bonita. So we'll say, okay, deploy. So we can, yes, we will deploy production. I want to deploy my production environment. And I want to be connected as Walter Bates. Okay, and yeah, deploy it. So it will take just a few seconds for it to do it on my browser. This is really the same way that we used to do things, and I can choose which application to launch. So I have the Acme restaurant that we developed when we were at the restaurant, and we have these core applications also that are normally so included and suggested when you launch your application from the studio. So I will just use the Bonita user application as user. So yeah, it's this one, just a reminder. Yes, and I have all my processes. So I had a process just for the configuration demo up, which I will just submit. And then, so this way it has configured my menu, and I can sign out. And you remember we had also another user called table one table. I have my application list, and then I can go to the Acme restaurant and place an order. I have my menu in here. So yeah, and I can order stuff. So this is the application that we did, and it seems, yeah, it's working correctly, right? Okay. These are some migration notes, which is very useful. Open this one. If you want to know a little bit more what happened, and also it's very, it keeps you on record of what has happened during this migration. So we will not take a look at everything that has been here. I'll let you, when you receive this version, to take a look. I will go directly to see the structure of my project. So I'm going here and show in system folder. And yeah, so you know, every version of Bonita Studio has a workspace, and on your workspace, then you can find all the applications, all the projects, sorry, that you have there for that version in particular. So this is the Acme restaurant sample that we have just cloned from Git, and that we have converted to a full multimodal project for Maven. So we have also this part of extensions. So we have the app, the BBM, the extensions, which are different models contained in our parent model. And every time we have a POM XML describing so what we have using our group ID, our artifact ID, the versioning. So it's going to be information that is going to be really relevant for then packaging these projects. Okay, so as I was saying, so the app has also a POM, and every model inside this project will contain a POM as well. This is so the structure of Maven multimodal project. Okay, great. So what's next? What I wanted to show you is how to package then this application, right? So I will go here, open just a terminal. Opening terminal, I will copy paste. And then what I'm giving, the extra parameter that I'm giving, because I'm on a beta that it's not out yet, I will say where my base image repository is to look for, okay? So this image repository, we will talk about it later. It's called the Bonita Artifact Repository, and it will contain then all the artifacts and everything in there. What am I doing? Okay, of course, it's demo effect. And now Bonita Soft Studio process not found. I tested just before. What am I doing wrong? Okay, let me just, because I always find the answer, but it's kind of scary when you have an audience looking at you, right? Like, what's going on? And yes, we are on beta. 2023, don't know, B2. Let me just, so sorry about that. Yeah, it's like when the world hates you. And at some point it's like, okay, you will not be able to do it live because I don't know, karma. Okay, it seems to be working. I don't know what happened. Maybe I was just playing just before the demo, so I hope I didn't like touch something. Sorry. Okay. Yes, it's kind of, yeah. Let's forget, just draw a little bit, but it's exactly the same step. What I might have did, honestly, I think I erased the workspace to start from fresh, but I might have deleted something else. So sorry, don't do that before a live session. But well, I have basculated to beta 2 because we had several betas. And this is the same project and the workspace. And so now it has created, it has a package, sorry, my application with my Docker image. So I'm going to show you, the Docker desktop, yes, I have created this one. So it's not a trick, it has really created it. So the Acme restaurant sample production, because I use a production environment, and it was created less than a minute ago. So great, and we are using the tag 001. So I will just, what time is it? Oh, let's hurry up. Okay, I will create and run a container. Hopefully, if you run, if you use Docker, maybe this is a little bit slow for you. I will try just to hurry up a little bit. So this command, docker run, will just create a container where we can run this application. I will call this container restaurant app, and it will be on port 9000. And I'm really using my image, Acme restaurant sample production 001. Okay, hopefully the rest is going to be okay. And so this command gives me a container called a restaurant app, which I can just open. Okay, yes, it has not, it's still running. Okay, up. Let me show you on my browser. And it's opening, and it will then show the application that we have developed. Let me just open then the project that I was showing, because I'm on beta 1. Okay, so install, yes. And since this is the first time we are deploying this application, then I will just say the profiles that are not set, because I'm using the community edition. So I had 2 groups on this application, the Acme, which were for employees, and my users, I want to be the clients. I have a group of clients. I want to also add Acme as a user, just in case, so they have access to the same applications that users do. Okay, great. And now I can sign out. I can connect as one of the employees, Walter Bates. And you can see that then I have this Acme restaurant application, which was the same that we showed just before. And I have access to the Bonita Administrator application. And maybe you remember we had another application, which was the Bonita User application, and it's not there anymore. So let me show you very fastly how. Okay. So Bonita 2023 B2. Let me use this one. Right, it's starting again. So I will just show you very fastly that now you can add applications, core applications to your self-contained applications. So how can I do this? So on the overview of your project, you know, it's the same one. You have something called extensions. And you can see the extensions that your project is using. So for example, this is an actor filter initiator and a Bonita admin application. So this is the application that we are seeing. I can open the marketplace and then I can filter by application. And you can see that there are there's an admin application for enterprise, which I cannot select, and Bonita reporting application, which I cannot select because I'm on community, but I can select the Bonita user application as well. So by saying, okay, I want this application also to be available, then I am adding this application, which one can be useful for your case. Great. In that case, I would go for a version, for example, 002, because I have added something to my project that it's worth it to document it and add and bump the version. Let me take a look at your comments. Oh, it's Tite who said that yeah, he had missed earlier sessions and he wanted to make him start from A. Okay, well, he could have stayed because we are really doing, you could do this with any sample. It's not up to just a restaurant sample. It's just any application that you would like, but I chose this one because yeah, I like going to the restaurant. Anyway, what I was saying, yes, I could then create a version 2. So let's very fastly do it. I'm on Acme and I will just say exactly, no, the Maven clean package, and it will create then a second one, a second image that will appear exactly here. Sorry, exactly here in just a few seconds. Okay, let's take a look at the output. What I forgot to say, yes, is that once the Docker image is out, it's going to be on the Docker Hub. So you can still run this command without configuring something else. So it's in here, and I could also, time is running so fast, but let me show it at the end if we have some time, but believe me that it has added the user application in here. So a third application will appear once we deploy version 002. Okay? Okay, let's use something which is called Bonita, sorry, local, now I'm just taking a look at my notes. Yes, Docker Compose. Yes, we're going to use Docker Compose because it can be convenient. So, do you know Docker? Well, I hope if you are using Docker, you for sure use Docker Compose. But it's just a reminder, a tool for defining and running multi-container Docker applications. So let me show you what it looks like. So When I deploy, when I just say run my image on a container, it gives me something like this, a container saying just restaurant app. So, but I can use Docker Compose to use multi-containers, okay? So for that, you will need to create a Docker Compose configuration file, which looks something like this. If you want to know which kind of file you could use, definitely we have something on the documentation. So let me show it to you. In our documentation, if you look for deploy Bonita runtime with Docker, then at some point we talk about Compose, and you can use this content configuration file for Compose as a basis. So that's what I have done, and I have then created this this file. I'm adding even a little bit more stuff. So for example, I'm saying that my service, I want it to be called Acme Restaurant, and the image that I will be using, it's image 00. I could use 2, so we can try it out. So this is the image that has just been created, and other stuff like such as the port where I want to launch it, and I cannot go on everything in here, but it's really very basic for configuration on Docker Compose. Okay, so once I have this kind of file, I just need to open a terminal in there, and I will be able to do something like Docker Compose up. Great, and it's starting my multi-container for Docker applications. So it's creating different things, and it can be very useful because, for example, in here I say that I have a database and I have an application, so you can separate both this way. So I will open it, and then so normally it's still, I think it's still starting. You can go for Docker Compose PS. Yes, okay, it's in there. And since this is another container, I will do exactly the same thing. Okay, whoop. Just declare my profile very fastly. And then, well, I will even have the time, so just not to trust me, but to see that the 002 takes into account the changement that we did. So what? Add, and I want also Acme to be part of the user profile. Add, close. Great, and up. Well, per base, sorry. And great. And here you go. You have now the Bonita user application for this 002 version. Great. It seems to be working. So Docker Compose can be something quite great, and it will allow you to simply put another version in production as you go. So let's go back just to the slides. Oh, time goes so fast. So with this, you can definitely think of your path to production, something like this. For example, this is just an example using best practices. So you get this source code to download the project source files from your Git source control system. For example, yes, Git. You build the application, with Maven, as I have just showed you. And for example, why not using integrating these to your CI? So I don't know, maybe you are using Jenkins or Circle CI or Travis CI or something else, whatever. So you are able to create a new release version of the application, but using the standard build systems. Then, well, you would like to publish it. So we did not go for the publishing part during this phase. But yeah, it's sharing this for deployment, making this available to the ops. So for example, using your Artifactory on JFrog or a private repository for your images. And then it would be like, yes, make the application live, right? With the custom configuration according to some constraints that you might have. Definitely, you can have this path now that you are able to build with the standard build using Maven. That's a very good news, right? And so just to recap, also a very a difference between community and subscription. Well, on community, you will get things from Docker Hub or from the Maven Central repository, while on subscription, you will get everything from Bonita Artifact repository. And this, yeah, and so you can get also some images. You will get some artifacts that community users won't be able to have. So let's talk about Bonita Central. What's Bonita Central? So it's a self-contained application by itself. So we are using exactly the same technology that we have developed, the same concept. This self-contained application is available on Bonita Artifact repository that I just talked about, and it's only available on Enterprise Edition. So what's Bonita Central? This is the quote, the production management tool that has all in one place for configuration and knows all for monitoring and error analysis. And so, yes, we have the documentation, very important also. This page explains what's in there, which are the supported Bonita runtime versions. Just very important to know, even if you are not using the latest version, you can still use Bonita Central to have it all in one place. It explains also the installation, how to declare an application, and this is exactly what we are going to do right now with Bonita Central. I'll just... Okay, I have a question here. So I'm just getting acquainted with Bonita Soft, and I couldn't find a detailed documentation in the new version about the monitoring part. How do we need to follow this way? About the, are you talking about this part of Bonita Central, right? So how you can access, yes. So I went to documentation.bonitasoft.com and just said Bonita Central. And of course I cannot find it. No, where is it? Oh my God, I don't see anything. What am I doing wrong? My God, I feel like I've been hated by someone. Why can I find it? Oh my God. It's okay, I know. Do you see it? Because I don't. My God. Okay, I don't find it. Okay, but it's documentation.bonitasoft.com central. Maybe I'm okay. Let me just last chance. If I just look for central. Great. Okay, there's a problem with the research. I don't know why it's not finding central. So great. Thank you for for that. But it's documentation.bonitasoft.com/central, and then you will be able to get to that page. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know why it's not appearing on the research. I will check with my colleagues later. Okay, you want to get in touch about enterprise version? Great. I'll tell my colleague just after this webinar, Yusuf. And sorry about that. Yeah, we are a small team, and sometimes, yeah, it's a bit difficult to answer everyone at the good timings, but sorry about that. Okay, let me then showcase Bonita Central. Yes, what I was saying, yes, image. So it's a Docker image that I have, for example, just downloaded from here. So from my Bonita artifact repository, I have gotten the Bonita Central image. And of course, I could just create and run a container. But since we won't have a lot of time, as I did before, I will show you what I did for with Docker Compose. It's kind of the same thing. So I just did another Docker Compose, which is a little bit more elaborated. So I have added a database, another service which I called Bonita in here, and I have also declared my which is with its own database, and I have declared, yes, a service called Bonita Central, which is using that image. Okay, the rest is kind of the same configuration. I want to show later this service, the Bonita service, because it's configurable for several nodes. So this is also something interesting when you have critical processes that always have to be online. So again, I will open a terminal where I have my Docker Compose configuration file. And I will just say Docker Compose up. And let's see. Okay, it's creating everything. I have defined several services to be inside, so that's what it's showing me in there. There's a service called traffic. I didn't explain before, but so you know, this is going to be like our entry point, because with nodes we will be able to say where am I going, right? This one or this one. But let me just show you then Bonita Central first. So Docker Compose PS. And it's still starting. So what has given me on Docker desktop, I can see a container then that says Docker image Bonita and contains everything that I have declared on my Compose configuration file. Let's see if it's already up. Where is my browser? Okay. It has opened on localhost port 90. And in here, you will see on the documentation, so you have default username and password. And then you can have access to this self-contained application called Bonita Central. What's going to be interesting is to add the applications that you would like. So I will add my previous application. Where is it? Here. So I have my restaurant application running on localhost 9000. I will copy paste this. I will say this is the Acme restaurant application, and then my runtime. Okay, we cannot use localhost because it will like he wouldn't know where to go since we are in localhost. So you need to get your IP. That's what I did with an IP config, for example, if you are on Windows, and I already done that. So let me put it, replace localhost by my IP. And then I need connection credentials from an administrator. So of course, if you are using other authentication methods, you can use them. I'm going to do very simple for now. And it's in there. It's just saying that for the very first declaration, you need to restart the Bonita runtime of this application. So let's do it. Where am I? Yes, this one. This one is where I have my Docker Compose for the restaurant application. So I can also do something like this, for example, a Docker Compose up scale Bonita, Bonita, no, Acme restaurant, which is the name of our service, equals 0. Now recreate and minus d. And then I will do the exact same thing, but with 1. So this is just turning on and off just the part of the application, which can be useful. For example, as I was saying, I have defined a service for the database and one for the application. So this allows me to play with that and turn it on and off. Sorry. Let's see how it's working. And it's running. So I should be able now to go here and force refresh of data. Okay, it's still not up. So I think it's still starting. Let me take a look. I'm here. It says running. Please don't hate me. Bonita. Yes. Refresh. Okay. Yes. I think it's that. It's a community edition, of course. So so it's very Bonita Central. It's mostly for your subscription applications. So that might be where the error is coming from. So let me show you if I declare another application, okay, one that will be working. So just for this demo, I said that I have declared another application in here called Bonita, which is using this Bonita subscription Docker image. So I will show you. It's running on localhost 8889. Since it's just for the demo, so let me just create an admin user because I have created none. So I will use our friend Walter Bates with our very secure password. That if you know Bonita, it's always the password for our friend Walter. But sorry, okay, has been successfully created. And now just go and say, okay, my administrator is Walter Bates. Great, I will add it and close it. And just the deal, it's going to be that in here, in this exact container, I have defined an entry point. So if instead of using the port 8089, I will be using the port of my entry point. So it's 85. So again, it's not localhost, but my address, IP address. Well, it's the same. Yes, 24.1. Yes, that's one. And I will use broker bits. Oop. And then add it here. Okay, it's saying exactly the same thing. So I will simply, not a restaurant. Yes, this, well, I have my configuration file for this application, Docker Compose. I will do the same. Okay, I will copy paste so I can be a bit faster, hopefully. So I'm turning it on and off. Okay. Great. And while it's doing that, I will also show you on my configuration for Acme Restaurant. I have previously created an image with the subscription edition, which I called it 100. And I will show it. It was created an image of Acme Restaurant Sample Production 100, 70 hours ago. So this is, I just created, yes, just to have more time. And if we have time, I will show you how to deploy this one on Central. Okay, so let's go back to Central. Where am I? Yeah. So normally, but I didn't use the right port. Oh my God. Okay, just so sorry. I didn't use I was exactly what I told you to do. I didn't do it. So I was saying, no. Let's use, no, this one. So I was saying, we want to go for that application. Okay, so we don't use localhost. We use my IP address again, and we use the port of our entry point, which is traffic, which is 85. Okay. Oop. And we use router gates. This is very stressful. But it's the magic of live demos. Very stressful. Okay, and now I just need to go back again to my Docker Compose. Yes, exactly what I did. Bonita 0 and then Bonita 1. I'll take a look at your questions. Okay, publish the record of that webinar. Yes, so after, as every session, this webinar is being recorded. So we will send the recording beginning of next week, and it's going to be available. The replay is going to be available on our website. Can you let you contact email? Yes, of course. It's talia.cruz@bonitasoft.com. If you have any technical questions, I really recommend going to community.bonitasoft.com. We'll show this just the time it's starting. Sorry. So community.bonitasoft.com. And this is the best way if you have any technical questions to do it on Q&A. We try to do our best to answer, but it's really about community. So if you have the answer to one of the questions, don't hesitate to publish it as well. But yeah, I don't want to be a bottleneck. So of course you can contact me, and if you need something specific. But for technical questions, yes, the best way is Q&A because our R&D team also participates on that part. Okay, great. So it's starting. So normally. Oh yes, great. Oh, perfect timing. Oh, and we are able to see our last stop application monitoring. We can see so several KPIs that can be that can be very technical. Yes, mostly they are technical. For example, one of the easiest ones to understand is the active sessions, the number of HTTP sessions other than Bonita that are connected to your application. This one, the longest HTTP request in seconds. If you have any connectors, the number of connectors that have been executed, the connector queue, the RAM according to the heap capacity and how much you are using, connector execution, the work executed means it's related to the threads that it has started. And of course, when you say threads, you have limited threads, so you get to have a queue as well in here. So lots of things that will make easier for your app to be monitored in here. What's very cool also, and what I had in this example, we're arriving at the end. It happens so fast. It goes so fast. That I can, for example, I have configured this one to be a cluster. So I can say that now I want 2 instead of just 1. And that's why it was important to have an entry point, because there will be this workload balance where if you go to node 1 or node 2, and what's very cool is that with Bonita Central, you will be able to get a look at both at the same time. So let's give it a time so it's starting. In parallel, I will go to the Acme restaurant, remember that one, and I will simply I have it in here. Okay. I will do the same thing. I will compose and scale it again. Copy and paste. I want to take into account my latest changement where I was using version 1.0.0. But I think we won't have time to add it to in here. But at least I want you just to show you. For example, in here, I have added a new node to my application, and you can see, yeah, both nodes on the same page, which can, yeah, as I'm saying, it can be very useful. Well, we have arrived, yes, to the end. Okay, let me. Okay, yes, Yusuf, I will contact my colleague just after, so you get contacted for the enterprise editions. And sorry again. I see that there are no further questions on what I see. I think there was a lot of content for today's webinar, and live demos is always a little bit stressing. So, and this time, yes, I had at the very beginning the demo effect. But yes, because I was really playing with my beta just before. But as I showed you, it's working, and this version it's coming next month. So just the replay, it's going to be under resources and videos. If this is your first time at this stop, well, the other stops are available on replay as well. But I try to take it like really separate independent stops every time, so there are different topics. And at some point, yes, I reuse some content, but it's just for the example. It's not really about, for example, the restaurant application, right? It's about applications and production and Bonita Central. What I wanted to show you, the last, I will go back to the slides if I find them. Yes, last thing, yeah, the demo. Coming next month, we are releasing Bonita 2023.2 in both of our editions, community and subscription. So don't miss it. It's going to be, I think, in 3 weeks. Yeah, next month. And we will, of course, have a webinar to cover all the new features on this new version. And well, yes, we have arrived to the end of our webinar and to the end of our series of webinars aboard the Bonita Express. I hope you have liked it. And yeah, if you have suggestions, comments, because we are not perfect, so please tell us what we could do differently, we could do better, what we already do well, and I would be glad to read out your comments. Okay, great. Something else to say before leaving. Thank you, Yusuf. Thank you, Badreddin. Yes, Tite that had to go, but yes, I hope it was clear. Sorry for the demo effect, and well, as I said, if there is nothing else to say, Paparao saying thanks a ton. Thanks to you for your time. And as I was saying, see you next month for 2023.2 and the webinar that we will present all the new features and functionalities for you. Hope you like this one, and see you next time then. Okay, bye-bye.